I buy toothpaste and body wash and lotion all in travel size containers because regular size is too much of a commitment for me. I used to fly only on Southwest. It's like a bus in the air in the States. It's the only airline with 2 free check bags and no cancellation fees. I can plan to bring enough baggage for 2 people and still back out at the last minute. There's a metaphor in there somewhere. One time she gave me a map and a book of the world's greatest cities, like the long way. She told me to fly somewhere every month. It's actually not that hard. So every month I fall asleep in the sky and wake up in the arms of a new city. Makes me feel like I don't belong in one place. Most people have fear of flying. I have fear of staying. Last time I saw her, I was afraid I would miss my flight. She was afraid I would not come back. Her eyes told me, we know a frequent flyer when we see one. Know the wave of men who dissolve hearts into sand and make them a summer vacation spot. She tired of me packing promises in travel-sized containers, just small enough to get past her security, but still be disposable. She said, it's hard to love a man whose only commitment is having options. You've made a bed out of airport seats. You believe there's always something or someone better waiting on the next flight. You forgot how to go home. You forgot how to stay. When will you learn that love is a firefly? You will never know, you will never hold one if you try to hold them all. When you attempt to be everywhere at once, you become fragments. Broken cremains of emotions and bodies scattered in bedrooms, trying to gather the dust and present yourself whole. No wonder it took so long to find yourself. Omnipresence is a skill that humans will never accomplish. I lied to her on the phone. I told her it just wasn't the right time. Truth is, I feared commitment like a bloody cross. Feared a love demanding of a crucifix that bids my selfishness to come die. 10,000 deaths and then some. Every day, bury yourself in the soil so she can be a rose. I'm afraid she'll expect me to love her. Expect me to be a cathedral for her suffering, or these shoulders to be her altar. She cried. I am more than exit rows and departure gates. And you have so much more to give than excuses. Flying away is actually not that hard. Staying is.
Up, Jesus. Up, Jesus. King, King, King. Statistics had it that we had all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. The probability that there was someone righteous was 0. Principles of lighting had it that we walked in darkness. Cadastro found out that man had rebelled against God. The epidemiology of sin took place in the Garden of Eden and continued down the line. The rest of us just inherited the climate change, which gave birth to a distorted organizational behavior of man. Geodesy found out that man had a problem, but couldn't say what it really was. Algebra and trig found the problem to be seen and passed it over to linear algebra, who could only manage to come up with a word equation but could not solve it. Calculus only highlighted the extent to which sin impacted the nature of man. MATLAB and finite element analysis both agreed that they couldn't handle it, citing that it was beyond their scope. We moved from workshops, labs to design studios, hoping that somehow AutoCAD and SolidWorks would help in redesigning us and modifying us, but to no avail. The law continuously exposed our sinfulness. Measurement of building works queried that we were built on sinking sand instead of the rock of ages. An environmental impact assessment was conducted, but the findings were ignored. We instead improvised using other materials, but the strength of those materials was weak, so we continued on sinking sand. Digital signal processing with our Creator could not take place because the networking was marred. I say digital signal processing could not take place because the networking was marred. Porter's generic strategies only managed to give us a good life on earth but didn't give an assurance of heaven. Financial management gave an annual report that the wages of sin is death. So we continued hopelessly because sin filled the inventory of our operations research. The logistics were made. An algorithm and design was found. The cross. Christ came, lived among us a perfect man, and made his life a blueprint for everyone. He gave himself to deliver us from the unending supply chain of sin which impaired our system. He saved us all from our sins and from God's wrath, and henceforth caused everyone to repentance. Christ differentiated us from sin and integrated us to himself so that he should be our righteousness. The problem wasn't just in the hardware, but in the software as well, such that we needed reprogramming inside out. Therefore, to all those who believe in him, he removed the heart of stone and gave them the heart of flesh, being born of the Spirit of God. Christ embedded in us the control systems of grace, which teach every man to deny all ungodliness and worldly lust, but to live soberly, righteously, justly, and godly in this present world. Christ embedded systems of entrepreneurship in us, so that when we die to sin, we should be alive to him and bear much fruit, for a seed cannot reproduce unless it dies. The structural analysis of our foundation was now stable because it was built on Christ, the rock of ages. Christ reinstalled signals and systems of communication between us and the Father. Biochemistry was left in awe of how Jesus was translated from death to life. C++ couldn't decode the code with which came the power of his resurrection. Physics agrees that the power of God flows in all those who believe to make them live wires to spark his word of truth and live in it. Hydraulics points us to the fountain of life so that his living water should flow in us. As pneumatics testifies that God gives breath to all. As pneumatics testifies that God gives breath to all. Our instrumentation was changed from being workers of iniquity to instruments of righteousness to God. We ought to table down the cost accounting of discipleship, to carry our cross and follow him daily, leaving all the worldly pleasures behind. We ought to always remember that we are at war. We need a proper strategic management system, which is putting on the full armor of God. We have been called to mining, to excavate his word, for it is a great treasure. It enriches the soul with energy by the day, that daily bread. It enriches the soul with energy by the day, that daily bread. Material science attests that silver and gold belong to God, including the earth and all those who dwell therein. So let us continue to survey the wondrous cross on which the Prince of Life died, giving his life for us and caused us to be about our Father's business. We ought to remember accounting, for each one of us shall give an account of himself before God, giving a report of how you lived your life on earth. Let us excel in his word as he publishes his projects in our hearts, clearly understanding that waste management will be deployed on the final day, when the wheat shall be separated from the chaff. When the wheat shall be separated from the chaff. Up, Jesus. Up, Jesus. King, King, King. God bless you.
We're all so mean. And I mean mean like we're stuck on our meanness. We're all so mean. So unconcerned that out there are real problems, real suffering. And when I say real, I don't just mean inflation. I mean problems that we think don't even deserve our attention. Here's an honest question. How often do we even mention each other? I don't just mean your sister or your mother. I mean that other brother when you pray to your heavenly Father. How many of us even bother? We're so consumed with self and driven by me that there's no room for anybody else. so consumed with making sure that I look, sound, and act right that I stopped caring a long time ago whether or not I even share the light. But then again, I mean, isn't that what all those women's ministries and all these charities are for? I mean, why should I get my hands dirty? My manicure has to stay intact, that's for sure. So, why should I go out of my way for you when I'm barely getting by? So, no, I won't. If I see you bruised, broken, beaten, I'll look the other way and I'll steer clear. Because whether you're a Jew, a Levite, or a priest, I want nothing to do with you. And maybe that's why it's only the Samaritans that ever come through. Come through for you when we, who are supposed to be your sisters and your brothers, couldn't even be bothered to. So perhaps it's time we thought a little bit critically and just try to do things a little differently. Let us stop creating Bethsaidas and instead pray for rain. Let's quit abandoning people by the pools of our superficial concerns and instead pray the grace that we receive, they do too. Because isn't that what you'd want someone to do for you? I mean, I never really know what someone else is feeling or going through. So let's try this. Whether someone is here to stay or they're just stopping by on their way, let's be there. Let's learn to share. And if we can't figure that out, maybe we could just learn to care. Stop being obsessed with what everyone else is saying you're supposed to be into. And remember that it's the whole structure held together that's built into his temple. Because if Christ is a shoulder that everyone, and I do mean anyone, can cry on, then why don't we all just learn and become people that everyone, yes, even me, can rely on? Thank you.
I never knew that someone can be black and beautiful at the same time. I never knew. Till that day that I stayed my eyes on her beautiful body. The day that I saw her beautiful, so gorgeous inside out, like church, she was amazing. Yes, not even alphabet letters Q and T can fully describe how cute she was, I mean, though we were not that close, but I knew it from a distance that her heart was made out of God. I'm a go-getter. For the very first time, I was a go-digger. I want to carry that God to the next level like Super Mario, baby girl when I'm Mario. Her body, her beautiful body. You know that 3D body, right? Kazi wakaridwe. I'm not just trying to be romantic. But to be honest, every day I'm trying so hard my photographic skills just to capture her attention. Each and every day. And I don't even think her body was made up of body cells. I think she'd be pixels because she is photogenic. So each and every day, I'm trying so hard to be the photographer like him, right? Like him, just to capture her attention. She is one in a million. And I did. I had to tell her how I feel, right? I had to. And she said no. Imagine, after all that, she said no. She said she is just coming from a broken relationship. And I could feel it. Her heart was broken. Though I've never donated blood before, but for the sake of this donor, I was ready to become a heart donor. I was ready to give her my heart. Because I believe that if her heart and my heart are blended, can make up a one complete, beautiful heart. But I guess I was wrong. She said, I know what you're trying to do. You're just trying to play the same old game. All men are the same. All men are dogs. All men are trash. All men are thieves. Good men are like dinosaurs. They no longer exist. You're laughing. You're laughing. She even said that, I don't want you to count me my praises with your poetic, romantic poems again. Don't you dare, because I don't like you. She meant it. Not because she didn't like me, but because of her past. She was heartbroken. So this poem is not for that heartbroken girl, no. This poem is for those men who don't like to respect beautiful women. Those men. This poem is for those men who don't believe in love. Who don't believe in God, right? This poem is for those men who don't believe in a decent relationship, those people who don't get focused, those people who don't know how to love a woman. They say hate people, I'm hurt because of those men. Ndiwerekeza zi.
Africa. I represent peace and I represent war. I am clothed in beauty and treasure, dressed in my love for more. More money, more power. Satisfaction is a term I do not know, not because I do not want to, but my ancestors never taught me to be satisfied, but to want more. I welcome visitors with a warm smile called illusion, treated with my beautiful green, my warm embrace of culture. They dance without rhythm to my drum beat, a beat that my father said is sure to make them give more. More shame dressed in a cloth called funding, donations. These two words have made me lose sight of what was once called home, a sight that held man and woman, husband and wife. But for a few millions, I'm willing to let women wear man's clothes and man carry handbags. This called the norm. I claim that slavery is no longer the song I sing, but I am held in chains by my need for more. I have tilted my beliefs politically, from power to the people to more power to those in power. I struggle with the chains of greed. Once in power, my goal is no longer to help my people come out of the long streak of poverty that has held us captive by our own misconception of who helps who. My goal is to remain in power. I cannot stress enough my craving for more. I am willing to kill my own because their skin is lighter than the usual brown, and I believe I can get more. I am infected with a virus called corruption. This disease, they say, is the need to get more. It is attractive because it gives you more, but I also know it will be the death of me. I am married to procrastination. The more I promise is the more I promise. My people bleed and scream for change, but their screams in the face of power are like fading echoes of nothing. All this I have left for you to think about, because we all want more. But the question is, do the benefits of more outweigh the need for change? Thank you.
Dear omnipotent one, how can you destroy all of my enemies and yet still save me? At the moment, I cannot comprehend the height, the depth, and the breadth of my depression, and I think that one of your angels skimped on his paperwork because I passed more than I can handle a long time ago. So take a seat, omniscient one, and let me tell you something that you don't know. I am not the apple of your eye, and I am certainly not a temple of your spirit, and I do think I can add an inch to my height and a lot more pounds to my weight because I eat everything when I worry, except for the bread of life. So break it for me, omnipresent one. Where have you been? Where were you when I wept into a sea of clothes on the floor because I did not want to put them together because I am tired of dressing up my life? Where were you when you promised to cover me with your wings and protect my family from chaos? Where were you when you saw him walk out that door and leave me the moment that I left his bed and he said, I love you, but... And where was your love when sin compelled me to start looking for answers at the bottom of a bottle and left my mind meddling with all these memories of blue-ticked messages floating on a sea of regret? But you were there, weren't you? You were there. The first time I said no, that powerful word, no, the first time that it came out of my mouth like a chariot of fire. And you were there to say, I told you so. I promise it's gonna get better. And see, you did make it through the night. And you were there every time that I cried to tell me, it's okay, Cass, go to sleep. It'll be better in the morning. And you were there the day that I tore my suicide note. And you will always be there to destroy my enemies. And there's just one left. So I'm coming home. I've been weak and heavy laden. Take me home. Thank you.
Revelations, visions, prophecies. In the DMs, these blue ticks were getting verified. Miala yokanidwa ija yisanduka yapa ngoja, it's certified. The stone that the builders rejected became a cornerstone. So listen to me, child. If it happens that you fall down, don't stay there. Pick a stone with you to use it to build your stairs. For every skyscraper starts from the bottom, it starts with the bottom layers. So this is to my humble beginnings. So I begin. I begin by telling you who I am. It ain't just Matt-Hew. See, I am an artist. I bleed on pages. They take it to the streets. I take it on stages. Routing with metaphors and similes. These ways I'm upon I raise like wages. And mystery like mammoths. John Doe like unknown faces. I am on soft cases. I pass on like memes. See, these lines are my churches. Shoulder for the broken. Rehab for my demons. A community for the rejects. These stanzas are my sermons. Preaches my status. A rebellion as sermon. See, John Chilembo with a pain. A lot of people think that I'm insane, yeah. Because I open up to the page more than I open up to people, but that's okay, that's cool. You can call me crazy, but I tell you this. This is where I found my freedom. This is where I date independence. This is where 6th July. When I'm giving you 3 lines of haiku, I'm just bringing forth every truth from a lie. Writing stuff left unwritten. Revealing what they say is hidden with my words. With your ears, I make you smell every incense bent. With my words, with your eyes, I make you see these pictures I paint. Cause I am an artist, and the writing part is my canvas. My paint is the brush that makes your thumbs blush in a rush of hair snaps. Cause that's how you chart, that's how we chart with a poet like. Put a ring on words and give birth to poems. When they say I'm just too weak to handle the truth, you know how 2 weeks has 14 days? I take that 2 weeks, I take that 2 weeks and turn it into 14 lines and get them sonnets. Let the critics drop their comments. I still sting like hornets. So I feel like I just started, mentioning my name without taking you where I originated. So let me take you home. See, I come from a place where struggle is considered motivation. Chilimba, Chileka, Gadaga. A place where pain is just a fuel I load in my tank to drive my passion. Ndilande, Chilobwe, Zingwangwa. A place where these tears rain toward a joy. You just know Sundays are coming, so Mondays will be made perfect for me. And Jesse, Kawale, Gona. We know we are king size, so they sleep on us. Some are gonna. A place where to be underrated is a rite of passage. We're looking down on you saying a message like Amati Woba. They fear us. Amati Pondeleza. That's why they act as if they don't hear us. Amangoti Tegeleza. A place where single mothers are queens and their sons are kings. A place where family means everything, but everything is not family, so we are told to stay away from some things. A place where bittersweet, because we eat from our sweat. This is what I know about bittersweet. Where leaders big, so kanga chepe wanji. We move mountains with faith as little as a mustard seed. See, a mustard seed. The little I have for more, so trust me. This little light of mine, oh no, I don't know how to sing, but then this little light of mine, I'ma let it shine to ignite a bigger fire for my core. Cause where I come from, the little you aim will make you a pillar. Everybody looking up to you like Moses. Ndinjoka yankuyu kufuna potsamila. See, I come from a place where being the man of the house is by default sometimes. It's by default sometimes. You know, mitima yosagunda, I mean deadbeats kutisia with no choice but kusia kukala mwana. And mana for your siblings. See, I come from a place where rock bottom is where you start. You know, kusunga kanga chepe pasipa mgalangini yende proper. From the bottom where you are, you get to see views from the top. I call it dreaming in colors, boy. We have rainbow thoughts. These pictures we paint in just 1,000 ways, but 1,000 lives saying, you don't know jack about going to Kuchokila. See, I am going with a little bit of long way. You have heard those rumors of war. Yeah, you know. A lot of mambas in the jungle, George. No need to beat around the bush about it. Straight talk, rulers in my ways. I talk about it. Because I've lived it. I've faced it. And I continue to face it. Time. Tick. Talk. Time is not on my side and time is not on our side. So I'm going to just go and leave you. Have a great time.
Thank you. That's your aim, right?
I'm scared. I'm scared of standing on the stage. I'm scared of people. But most times I'm scared of facing myself. And I'm scared of that you will know me. But I'm more scared that you will know too much about me. So that is why I stay close up so that you don't know much about me at all. I'm scared that you will see right through me and see all my insecurities. Worried if I'm pretty enough or cute enough or hip-hop enough. I'm scared that you would see that I'm just a girl desperately trying to hide my imperfections and flaws. And I'm scared of not being loved. But more than that, I am scared of heartbreak. So I told myself not to fall in love anymore. And I'm scared of failing, but I'm equally as scared that if I succeed, that no one will applaud, or that ex that I'm trying to make feel bad, that he won't care at all. And I'm scared. I'm scared of my tainted past. All those dirty little secrets that I tried to hide, haunting my present and distorting my perception of the future. And I'm scared of being alone and lonely, but I'm also scared of friendships because I've been rejected so many times. But do you want to know what my biggest fear is, really? I'm scared that I've not been living right. And he knows it, and I know it. And I'm scared that all too soon you'll see it too. I'm scared that on that fateful day, he'll say to me, do I know you? And it's crazy, because I'm scared that I even have any of these thoughts, because his word says that those who are his will never, ever be snatched away. So why does my heart disobey and lead my soul astray to fear the unknown, to fear what is already defeated, to fear a past that I no longer belong to? See, I am loved by this redeeming God. I am beautifully and wonderfully made inside and out. What you see standing here is a full embodied display of his splendor. I am an amalgamation of his glory and majesty, so I do not need to measure my worth based on whether that person puts me on their DP or flaunt myself enough that a particular person sees me. My daddy made me as a queen. He made me as more than a conqueror. I am a girl set alight by his fire, mixing and burning and bringing out all the flavors of love within me. I am more than a masterpiece. I am a master's piece. And he formed me as his. And he calls me his beloved, his very own. And that is all I ever need to know. Because perfect love casts out fear. I'll say it again. Perfect love casts out fear. Thank you.
I'm trying to stay faithful. Look around, look at my hands, I got a plate full of things to do, not relishing the moment and being grateful. I speak to you and I keep it 100 and make my next move. Guess who's stepping up? Not for the stairs and such. Even if you escalate the payments, not for the cash and such. Or to flex how well I eat a beat like I had a salad for lunch. Faithful over famous, I don't like the spotlight much. I'm not about to step on mics to secure my fame cause my long fights with sin and vice might manure my name so. I speak to you, the name that you can call in sun or rain for, the name through which you may find peace like Barabas in Pepo, Yesu. Kalonga wantendere, Chiuta wankongono isetose tigomezi. Who didn't fail to handle the flames, ngatikina, whose red blood was shed to save me ndima mufila. Ndagoma naye, ngati kulankhula palilime ndizovuta ndizamusiye. It's a cold world, but I know the sun is here. Moyo ndichibalaliko, but I know he's here to steer me through the right path. See, he plus me equals he, now that's the right math. I give truth, defend it, kukhala ngati ndine lawyer. Ndakhalitsa ndiukepo ngati mwana wa msooya.
They tell you that this is not the place for dreamers. That in a war with reality, dreams always lose here. They tell you stories of those that came before you and failed miserably. So what is so special about you, they ask? They try to break you and your dreams, but my friend, show them that you are bigger than any box they try to fit you in. Keep your head up. Believe in who God made you to be, and that's an overload of greatness. You have the galaxies of stars beneath your feet, so walk like it. Put your shoulders high and your dreams higher. Raise the banner for those that will come after you. So yes, learn from the failures of those that came before you, but they should never stop you from dreaming. Learn from your own failures as well. Those that led us to success success. Your dreams won't always make sense to people until they see you getting successful. So when they tell you nobody done it before, tell them you will be the first. You are made of fire that this dying flame of a nation needs. So go beast mode on your dreams in the most beautiful ways possible. And don't you let anyone tell you that you are not good enough. But listen, never do it to prove anyone wrong. Believe me, it is a waste of time. Do it because there was a burning desire within your heart. Do it because the world needs it. They have been waiting for your manifestation. But sometimes you will lose your way, and that's okay. Just remember the song the mother sang you in your young days. It will lead you the way back home, so that as you dream, you must never forget the strength of a tree is in the roots. Thank you.
I hear you calling me. I hear you calling me. I hear you calling me. Here I am. I hear you calling me. I hear you calling me. I hear you calling me. Here I am. I will cross the oceans to proclaim your name. In the darkest nations, I will shine your light. Here I am, oh Lord, send me and I will go. I will run this race so you'll be glorified. I will cross the oceans to proclaim your name. In the darkest nations, I will shine your light. Here I am, oh Lord, send me and I will go. I will run this race so you'll be glorified. I will cross the oceans to proclaim your name. In the darkest nations, I will shine your light. Here I am, oh Lord, send me and I will go. I will run this race so you'll be glorified.
Thank you.
My Irish white friend, after coming off the phone, tells me that his white French-speaking friend tells him that he speaks French like a black man. He tells me it's a compliment. The other person just didn't know it, and that now he is as cool as a white man can be, but till this day, I don't know what to do with this memory. When I was 8 and a little bit more adventurous than my then 6-year-old sister, I, on my tippy toes, trying to stay afloat in the shallow end of the big pool, her being wiser than I opted for the kiddie pool. As soon as her black skin touched the clear chlorine waters, the Indian parents gestured to the black nannies to pull the brown kids out of the pool. My little sister, being young, confused, and unassuming, went from black father to black nannies to brown kids. My father smiled at her, told her not to worry, just more water for her to play with. I don't remember much of my childhood, but to this day, I don't know what to do with this memory. About a year ago, I attended a party at my colored friend's house full of coloreds and white people, And I, one of the few black persons there with the color, speaking and acting like they were closer to their God because, they were. I got a lecture from a Greek white girl whose parents have been in this country long enough for them to consider themselves Malawian, but not exactly black. She said, maybe, just maybe, you are a bit too insecure about some jokes and comments because maybe, quite frankly, you are insecure about being black. I usually have quick responses to the words that are thrown my way, but to this day, I don't know how to respond to that. See, what happens when your voice isn't enough of a shield for them to not ascribe a color to you? What do you do when you aren't young enough not to be taught hate, not to be taught that the color of some skins is a disease, something to be avoided, and if it boils down to it, something to be hated? What do you do when you're told how to act, how to speak, how to feel about who you are because of who you are, solely based on the color of your skin? You bite the bullet, remain ever so cocky, slightly pointing out the fact that your presence is a crayon reminding us that we aren't colorblind and that we shouldn't be. And that the colors in the room are an expression of how this hate and superiority complex is a fallacy. Like, these days it's not even enough what you make. You can't make enough not to be considered the thief in the room. That the reason you have nice shoes on is that you got them from the flea market. Or that, the reason that you're here at this party is because you are the son of the help. Remember that a rich nigga, an educated nigga, a house nigga is still like the white boy who's hitting on the prettiest girl in the room who just happens to be black isn't a sign that horny knows no boundaries, even though it might not decide to love because it's been taught otherwise. Like the black boy who's hitting on the white girl in the room who isn't as pretty but has a good heart, isn't looking for financial freedom. I pray we free ourselves from the notion that we can hate each other solely based on the color of our skin and bond over the fact that our blood is red, this common bead of life that flows through all of us. I pray that we understand that we aren't colorblind and that we shouldn't be, and that love is a color. Thank you.
So I'm here in Malawi. This is my first time in Malawi. I've only had my feet on this soil for maybe 7 hours, 7 or 8 hours. And it's been amazing. I'm not one to try to quickly judge a person or a place in a negative or positive way, but so far, I'm making a quick judgment of how beautiful Malawi is, of how beautiful people are. And maybe I'm just judging about the long way, because the long way is where I'm at right now. And maybe that's maybe they're the city. And then I'll head to Blantyre tomorrow to do my second show in Malawi. And I have big expectations for Blantyre because of the standard that they've set here. And so it's been dope, man. The hospitality, the laid back chillness of it, hearing the take on poetry here in this city, this particular part of the continent, is super dope. And yeah, man, I'm a little overwhelmed. I was just telling my friends, I know, it sounds like I'm trying to be flattering or something, or kind of pander. But I was just telling the friends that I travel with, man, I don't know, man. I thought I really loved South Africa, but so far, man, I really also love being here in Malawi, man. It's just been really dope, and I hope to return soon. We're already making plans for what it's going to look like for us in 2019. So, and as far as my first performance, it's almost as if I've been spoiled. Like I said, this is my first time in Malawi, but this is my 7th time now on the continent of Africa. And even I can even kind of include an African experience with the audiences that I've had in London, because most of my audiences in London are West African, but they're kind of spread out as well. But the experience that I've had with African audiences has always been super warm and super receptive, which is why I keep coming back, because I get great reception in the States too, but there's nothing like an audience here, particularly in Malawi. I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. told me don't stand close to the water. Ooh, or it pull you under. Can I teach y'all a song? Say, oh. It's easy right there. Say, Papa told me don't stand close to the water. It pull you under, it pull you under. Oh, Papa told me don't stand close to the water. It pull you under, it pull you under. Long way, y'all been great. Can y'all stand up real quick? Stand up real quick, stand up real quick. Let's jam out real quick. She's an ocean, broken ships lay on her bed. I seen her coming, waved her hips to draw me in. A sea in motion, she moves at night and with the wind, and she is open, feel her body crashing in. She's the calm, she's the storm. I'm a fool on the shore. Oh, I know she roll away with every intention of coming back for more. Ooh, I heard I blow like Papa told me don't stand close to the water. It pull you under, it pull you under. Yeah, Papa told me don't stand close to the water. It pull you under. A wind is blowing, but I can swim with all the tides. I heard the warnings, but I still wanted to try. Drowned in darkness, breathing in the blame. I should have listened. Now I'm washed with shame. She's the calm, she's the storm. I'm a fool on the shores. Oh, I know she roll away. Every intention of coming back for more. Ooh, I heard her go like Papa told me don't stand close to the water. It pull you under, it pull you under. Papa told me don't stand close to the water. It pull you under. Oh, don't wait by the water. It's the old Negro spiritual, yeah. Oh, don't wait by the water, children. No. Oh, don't wait by the water. Oh, no, no, no. Ain't nothing but trouble by the water. She's a calm, she's a storm. I'm a fool on the shores. Oh, I know she rolled away with every intention of coming back for more. Here we go, throw back. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the. It's an old Negro spiritual. You're gonna have it your way or nothing at all. But I think you. She was preaching, y'all ain't even know it yet. Shando. Say don't go. Gonna have it your way or nothing at all. But I think you're moving too fast. Y'all don't hear me. The long way, I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for having me here tonight. The warm heart of Africa. I feel so welcome. I hope y'all feel welcome for me. I will be back by God's grace. I love y'all. God's grace and his peace be with you.